12 hours from now, space travel in America may take a huge step forward. Thousands are expected to watch as the first privately developed manned spacecraft takes off from Southern California. Channel 8 Eyewitness News is live. George Knapp is in Mohave, California tonight, where people from around the region are awaiting tomorrow's launch. George, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. We're coming to you from the test flight line of the Mohave Airport, but if everything goes according to plan tomorrow, you could call this the Mohave Spaceport, because that's what it would be. Tomorrow morning, 6:30 a.m., there will be a public demonstration of a new type of spaceship, one that could eventually be seen in the skies above southern Nevada.
Spaceship One's pilot will also become the first civilian pilot to ever cross the boundary of space in a completely privately funded vehicle.
Billionaire Paul Allen, the co-founder of Microsoft, is the money behind the project. Legendary aircraft designer Burt Rutan is considered the brains.
Mike Melville will be at the controls of Spaceship One, and Pete Sabold is Mike's backup.
At a Sunday news conference, Rutan introduced the crew members who, if all goes according to plan, will make history Monday morning by launching and piloting the first private flight into space. A small army of media is here to record and report the test flight. The plan is for Rutan's odd-looking Spaceship One to be carried up to 47,000 feet above the Mohave Desert, where it will fire up its engines, then power its way out of the Earth's atmosphere and to an altitude of 62 miles. Team members believe a successful test would be on a par with the Wright brothers' historic flight, and that it could usher in a new era of space exploration and commercialization. Las Vegan John Alexander, a longtime friend of Burt Rutan's, will be one of the VIP guests on hand to witness the event.
The significance is absolutely huge, because what he's doing is putting the first civilian astronaut up. In other words, this is done totally by a private company, and the money is so much smaller. We're talking orders of magnitude lower than what our government would have cost to do the same thing.
The flight could have direct implications for Nevada, too. Nevada test site is still considered a front runner to eventually become a spaceport if the technological barriers can be conquered. As you can probably tell, it gets awfully windy here in the high desert. That's the one thing that concerns the folks behind this proposed test for tomorrow, is a possibility of high winds. If the winds are too high, it could end up in a postponement of the test. Other than that, though, everything looks real good at this point. The ship is ready, the crew are ready to perhaps make history tomorrow. Reporting live from Mohave, California, George Knapp, Channel 8 Eyewitness News.
George, two quick questions for you. Number one, how much is this going to cost? And secondly, this is a privately funded mission, but do they need any type of government permission or clearance to go forward with this?
They definitely need government clearance. There are government standards about that's exactly what I'm talking about with regard to the wind. If the wind is too high, according to government standards, it would be deemed unsafe to make the launch. As far as money goes, none of the money for this thing came from the government. As I mentioned in that report, it all came from Paul Allen. We don't have exact figures, but we understand it cost in the neighborhood of $25 million, which is absolutely amazing, because not only did they design two new aircraft, one a spacecraft, but they built both of those craft and have been testing them for about $25 million. Can you imagine what had happened, what it would have cost if NASA had done the same thing?
Oh, the cost would have been tremendous, I'm sure. Just in a